Hey. Uh, Hi, I'm Monita Soni. I'm writing for India Currents. I'm glad to be here.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. It's just so wonderful to see both of you, Geeta and Alia. It's just amazing. Your name is Sophia. I keep confusing because I'm jet lagged.
Okay.
I just came from
It's
India.
okay, I'm an actor, I'm used to it.
Because I came from India and they've been emailing me constantly. My mother passed away actually, so I'm a little jet lagged. So, but
I
bear
can
with
tell
me.
you watched the movie.
Yeah, I watched the movie. It's wonderful. And congratulations on your Tribeca and being picked up by Bleecker Street.
Thank you.
And I just loved the movie because, I have been wondering all the time about these Indian social parties and then the grocery stores. When I came, I actually ran away from home. And so I had no idea that when I land up in a small town in United States, that I will be thrown in the midst of a small town mentality, which you portray so well in the movie. So can you tell me a little bit about, Geeta, can you tell me about your dinner with friends play, and then how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. And that's what when I was talking about this movie initially, when we were pitching it around to try to get funding for it, that's exactly what I said. It's a small town. So even though everyone in this movie is South Asian, people can relate to it because that's exactly what happens in a small town. Everyone knows everyone's business. Exactly. Everyone has judgment, and there can be a lot of support as well. But there are also, there's two sides to all of this, So I did want to write a story that was based on my own childhood growing up here in America and going to these Indian dinner parties and going from it being a kid who went to the basement, when I got there, go play video games, go do whatever in the basement, to getting older and being expected to be a part of the parties, serving the samosas, talking to the aunties and uncles, how are you doing in school, blah, 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 all of that. And as I stayed more up, on the second floor, on whatever dinner was being served, just listening to the conversations that were happening and wondering about these aunties at a certain point and the uncles, who were these people really, beyond the stereotypes, beyond this big facade they were putting on, what was really happening underneath? And I think that's where the impetus for this idea came from.
Yeah, because they are not what they appear to be, right? Most of them. And I was judged like even by the kids, I had some kids over and I put them in the basement and they judged me because I didn't have enough games.
Yeah, right?
And the first time I tried to invite people over, I tried to make aloo parathas and my aloos were lumpy and they looked at me as if I was some kind of a stranger, an alien. And then my mama came and she used to bring all these, the pani puris packed in like plastic tins because she thought I would never be able to get something like that here. And then she tried to cater or invite people over for dinner. And they all gave her ideas, but no one pitched in to help her. And my poor mom could not even lift that heavy cooker, pressure cooker to make the cholas. I'm like, to hell with this, I'm not.
Yeah, it's a weird scene. Yeah.
I am like a renegade. I'm known as a renegade in this small community and I'm not invited to many of them. But so I don't think that, this is all, the movie is like has so many layers and addresses so many issues. And I will jump to Sophia and Sophia Ali and Alia Kapoor. Tell me about your role and how you got interested in it and what are you playing? Tell me.
I play Alia, who's the lead, and she's but I mean it's weird to say that she's the lead. I feel like she sort of orchestrates the story, it's told from her perspective, but it's really cool to get to play her. Actually, hearing Geeta just now talking about being a kid and listening to the aunties and uncles talk and wonder about it, I think there's something to be said like with that, because I had the same experience, like I remember being like, that was, that was an exaggeration, or that was, and you don't really realize it in the moment that that's happening, like, and for her to translate it into art and want to create something and something that's memorable around it and like relatable but honest, It's really cool. I feel so lucky to be part of it
Yeah.
as Alia and get to be the person that's orchestrating it, you know, having lived it and being unaware at the time.
I love your character that you go to the grocery store and invite the entire grocery store family without consulting the parents. I thought that was something
I would do something like that.
All rebels here.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I am a renegade as well.
That is amazing. I mean, how you put things together, and then the relationship between mother and daughter. But I'm not going to reveal that because I'm going to probably interview you guys again tomorrow for a different outlet. So I will talk about that then. But the Indian parties, you know, I used to drink water. I didn't even drink any alcohol when I came to the country. So they used to think that I'm drinking neat vodka. Can you believe it?
No.
So they used to judge me for that. And then some people tried to befriend me so that they could climb the social circle. And other people would invite me when there was a celebrity in town from Bombay. I'm from Bombay originally. So they would invite me and then they would take pictures. And I remember one of my pictures, I blinked and they cut me out of the picture because, because I blinked. So I have a whole set of stories. I have so many stories, you know, and I don't know whether this movie will, India Sweets and Spices.
Also, another like side note, is it just an auntie and uncle thing? Like anytime you take a photo,
I don't know. I mean,
close their eyes like they're napping.
No. And nowadays they don't want to snap me in my picture because they say you are always smiling in the picture. So they'll always look in the room and take a picture with somebody else, but not with me. Because my picture turns out better. So, you know, there are so many layers to this.
Yes.
I can go on for like 48 hours and I would not have enough to say. But I'm glad that you made this movie now that I can write like so many reviews and stories about this India Sweet and Spice.
Nice.
So,
Good.
Yeah. So tell me about your, you know, the project, Geeta. Like, how did you, you know, you wrote and you directed. So the writing is easy, but then directing, I think you have the oomph for it. So tell me about that process.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wrote the script. The first draft was almost 10 years ago. And then I ended up having 2 kids back to back and I put the script away for a very long time. And I came back to it in about 2015. So it's been a long journey, even from 2015 till now, to get the movie made. And I loved writing the script. I've been a writer since I was a kid. So it's something that I really enjoy doing. But yeah, it takes a lot to go from the script to the screen because you need the money. So, you know, the script I won 2 awards with the script, which helped a lot to get some industry clout that way. And so people were finally interested in reading the story and learning about the story. And it's still, even then, you know, having a South Asian cast, it's still a challenge. It's not something that's set in India and have all the tropes of being Indian in India. That was a challenge to try to tell an authentic story set here in the States that people could still relate to and that felt universal. But I feel very lucky. I feel like all the partners that we had, you know, from the cast and crew to the producers and the execs and the production companies, everyone was really on board with helping me try to tell the story in the most authentic way possible. And it was still a long journey and there were still many challenges and battles along the way. But yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I'm glad we got to make this movie finally.
So what is the deal about biscuits? I have not experienced that. You know, in my Indian parties that I go to, I mean, they have everything else. And I mean, they're very judgmental about what I serve. And they're so amazed if I come up with something which they think is like, you know, so authentic that I could ever think of making it. But nowadays I know, I mean, I've mastered the art, what to serve, you know, I've become, I'm smart, you know, I'm a writer. I'm smart, I can do it. But what is it about biscuits that was fascinating?
Just the idea that, you know, they have this big catered dinner, they have these fancy meals, you know, but that's exactly kind of where it comes from, is the smallest detail. Biscuits. We have biscuits every day with our chai, right? But the idea that maybe, you know, she had this party, they have these parties, people are drinking chai and someone says, oh, where are the biscuits? And everyone's like, oh no, we don't have the biscuits. It's going to be a topic of conversation for the next couple of weeks. Did you know she ran out of biscuits? It just became a sort of a marker, a way of saying, it could have been gulab jamuns, it could have been whatever, but the biscuits and chai I felt was very iconic. That's something, we offer that after dinner, we offer that before, whatever. Chai, we always drink chai. And the idea of not having enough biscuits was something that was really weighing on Sheila's mind.
Yeah.
So, it's the way to do
because
it.
it's true. It's actually true. They would get
You can't run out of food. You can't.
They would get pissed. What with my so you serve me chai and you don't have biscuits? Why did you even serve the chai?
It became that talking point that way. Yeah.
I mean, how can they be so judgmental? I mean, thinking that they don't have much to do. I mean, in their life.
Well, that's exactly it.
When I went back home, I was there only for 5 days. My mom passed away. Even that, they're judging me. We are having a prayer meeting. How come you don't have the bhajan going on right away? I'm like, we just finished Havan. We are setting up the bhajan.
Yes.
She's giving like a, lecture to my sister.
Well, that's always, they'll always judge. It doesn't matter if it's biscuits. It doesn't matter if it's a puja, whatever it is, I'm stereotyping here, but this is my experience as well, is they'll find something to judge you on. Your sari's not tied right, whatever it is, there's levels of pettiness. I think and that's the point of the film, is to try to break through all that whole facade and that nitpicking and say, what are we really doing here? How can we actually support each other and make real friendships versus tearing each other down? Yeah,
exactly. That's what the movie is about, and it's about so many other issues which you're trying to bring to focus. The mother-daughter relationship and what she suffered and what goes on behind the scenes. And I mean, it reminds me a little bit about Meera Nair's Monsoon Wedding.
Yes, love that film. Big influence.
Thank you.